Right now, there are over 7,000 long-term missing person cases in Canada, with 2,500 in BC alone. A part of this number is 21-year-old Ryan Shtuka, who has been missing for over a year. He disappeared without a trace in February of 2018 after attending a house party in Sun Peaks, BC. Ryan's disappearance has left his family frustrated and heartbroken, with many unanswered questions. Today, we'll be discussing the story of Ryan's disappearance. This is Out of Sight. We are your hosts, Rhea Lahu.
I'm Storm Lenny.
And I'm Andrea Ferrari.
Raised in Beaumont, Alberta, 21-year-old Ryan Shtuka had a passion for snowboarding and the mountains. In 2017, Ryan and one of his friends from home decided to move to Sun Peaks to work on the mountain and snowboard all winter. On February 17th, Ryan and his roommates finished work and headed to a local pub for a silent disco party. After, they decided to go to a house party only 5 minutes from where they lived. Later in the evening, two of his roommates decided to leave, and Ryan decided to join them. His roommates watched him put on his jacket and shoes, but as they were walking, they noticed that he was not behind them. They figured he decided to stay behind at the party. This was around 2 a.m., and it was the last time anyone saw or heard from Ryan.
The next morning, at around 11 a.m., his roommates received a text from Ryan's co-workers asking why Ryan didn't show up for work that morning. His roommates saw the messages and grew alarmed. Around 7:30 that night, they realized Ryan hadn't been seen all day, so they called the RCMP to report him missing.
So when the call came in, our officers immediately deployed to Sun Peaks, and at that time they called in our police dog service to help them with the search. That night, over 20 centimeters of snow fell, so searching during the night was difficult, and not a lot was done besides the immediate area of Burfield Drive. But then the next day, Kamloops Search and Rescue was called out, and a more extensive search was conducted. Over the year, we've had involved in the search. The RCMP helicopter has logged over 40 hours looking for Ryan, as well as our police dog service has done over 60 hours looking for it, as well as the RCMP cadaver dog has come up to look. We've had our dive team check a local stream for him as well, the RCMP dive team, and then Kamloops Search and Rescue has done numerous searches, as well as the Shtuka family themselves have been very involved. They come up monthly, and private searches have been ongoing throughout the year. We're not involved ourselves in the searches, it's with private individuals, but we meet with them monthly. And we've had many tips come in. All tips are thoroughly investigated, and we've researched each one to a natural conclusion, but nothing has led us to know where Ryan is.
So far, there have been 3 formal searches by the Kamloops RCMP and Search and Rescue.
For Ryan's parents, Sun Peaks quickly became home as they searched countless hours for months on end looking for their son. For Ryan's family, this journey has been heartbreaking. When we asked his mom what Ryan was like, she didn't even know where to start.
He was imperfectly perfect. I mean, he was exactly what he needed to be for us. He was everything that we could have ever hoped for and more, but he was not perfect. But what I love is when these happened, his birthday came around, and I used to get I get messages all the time, but I get messages from people that I don't know. So, I mean, I think that I would love my son to be this amazing person. But I also know the frailties of what, guys can be or people can be. And so, but when they would send me messages, they told me such wonderful things about Ryan that I wouldn't necessarily have seen at home. I know that he was polite and respectful to people. They always told me that. Your kids are so well behaved and all the rest. But to see and hear about your child outside of what you've seen, people coming back and telling stories about their kindness, I think that, I couldn't have loved him more when I heard those things. And to have his friends, like, they're devastated. They're absolutely devastated by all of this. Because he was that connection for them all. And could he be, like, I have read some of the stuff that he's had on Facebook. That kid was so lazy, he'd just leave the Facebook running on my computer. And so his messages would come through. The way he spoke to those guys, I was like, oh, I don't think a mother is supposed to read this stuff. And it's just crude and all the rest of stuff. And there's all sorts of parts to him. But he was definitely loved by so many. You know, he is my heart. He is my soul. He is 1/3 of what is left of my heart. I have my 2 daughters, and he is all of that. And there is no reason for him to ever be away. There is no judgment. There is no expectation. There only is an abundance of love. And so wherever he is, I know he's not living the life that he wanted to live. It's not where he thought he would be. But no matter where he goes, I've told him this, and I would tell him, there's always going to be 2 people in this world that will always love you unconditionally, and that would be your father and I. And so it doesn't matter where he goes and where he finds himself, there's always going to be a safe haven to come home to.
Throughout this tragedy, the Shtukas have been shown a huge amount of support from both their Beaumont community and the Sun Peaks village. Ryan left behind many people that loved and cared about him, and for so many, life without him has been hard. We spoke with one of Ryan's friends from his hometown, Derek Morell. We asked Derek to tell us about Ryan and share with us what life has been like without him.
It's been, I don't know, sometimes it's just kind of like confusing. Sometimes I just expect it to I just expect him to come back and say it was all a joke and laugh about it. It's been, I don't know, it's like life goes on, but it's just such a weird feeling when you start thinking about that and start, I don't know, like, life's been life, but there's just a weird cloud, I guess. Like, sometimes I still think, that he's just going to come back and it's just going to be a joke, and honestly, I think if I could say anything to him right now, it's just, can't wait for you to tell me all about it. I don't know. I think everybody said this, but Ryan was just super nice. He was outgoing. He was giving. He was always having fun. And, honestly, like last night, I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what I was gonna say, and I was kept thinking of more stuff to say, and then eventually I started trying to think of something bad to say about him, and I couldn't think of anything bad. Like, he was one of those guys that made everybody around him happier, and I don't think he had a negative effect on anybody. He was just a really good person.
It's been over a year with no answers for the Shtuka family, a year of pain, grieving, and exhaustion. Ryan Shtuka disappeared without a trace, and his family and friends will never stop looking for him. Thank you for listening to our podcast. I'm Storm Lenny.
I'm Rhea LaHoo.
And I'm Andrea Ferrari.